This dude's whole life was an L. Probably spent his days no-lifing some trash-tier MMO or getting roasted in Valorant, totally oblivious that reality was about to get hard-patched. Desperate to track down his missing brother because apparently checking Discord was too easy, he whips out his dev skills and codes himself into the final boss of a fantasy world, straight up installing cheats just to get the upper hand. Now he's rocking main character syndrome, delulu enough to think he's the one true king and that players are just his stepping stones. Bro swears 700 million girls are glazing him, but the only thing he's pulling is a full squad of sweaty DPS mains farming him for drops. It all starts on a rank 3 map, your typical grind spot for players around levels 10 to 35. It's a huge forest with plenty of fruit trees that help the local villagers, but it's also a spawn zone for some massive monsters. Right now, one of these mobs, a one-armed beast with a huge sword on its shoulder, is locked in a boss fight with a lone warrior. The warrior, noticing that the monster status has been significantly depleted, taunts it to attack. In response, the monster unleashes its ultimate move, Avalanche Chop, a devastating strike meant to end the fight, but the warrior swiftly sidesteps, dodging the attack. Without wasting a moment, he counters with his own move, securing the win and dropping the mob like it was a low-level grunt. A notification window pops up, revealing a loot drop, a heavy sword with some insane stats. Of course, this being a classic Monkey's Paw item, it also comes with a significant level penalty. But our guy, a total gacha addict, is still pumped to get such a powerful weapon from his very first boss. As he admires his new nerfed sword, a tiny digital fairy NPC appears, breaking the fourth wall to congratulate him. She then drops some critical info about a limited-time event boss, a Blood Moon Walker, with a rare item and a ton of XP as a reward. He immediately gets hyped, thinking this is his chance to test out his new blade and flex on everyone. But as he sets off, the fairy warns him about other players on the map, meaning he might contend with some real competition. Determined to get there first, he pushes forward, but the dense forest begins to disorient him. Suddenly, a purple light flashes in the distance, signaling the drop of purple-grade equipment. It's giving rich AF vibes, so the lone warrior rushes toward it with pure hype. But when he gets there, he's greeted by a massive loot pile, a true gamer's dream with the shiny purple gear just chilling in the middle. Thinking he's struck gold, he eagerly reaches out for it, only to feel a sudden, sharp pain. Before he can even react, his screen goes red as he gets absolutely one-shot. A hidden figure, clearly a certified hater, was lurking in the trees, waiting for the perfect moment to say get wrecked. Without a second thought, he slashed the warrior's neck, ending his run before he could even process what happened. As his body starts to poof, the real menace steps out of the shadows. The Blood Moon Walker, the limited-time raid boss. It silently walks away, leaving behind the warrior's fading remains and a shocking stat that 418 players have already fallen. It's not a skill issue, it's a them issue. A bit later, another squad of warriors, feeling confident and totally main character energy, shows up. There's only 1 minute left until the event ends, and the boss is just standing there, arms wide open, basically saying, "Come at me, bro." The warriors unleash their attacks, but the Blood Moon Walker dodges them all like it's lagging and then counter-slashes them to death, all while keeping a kill count. Seeing how absolutely Giga Chad the boss is, the elf girl nervously suggests a surround attack. They all follow her lead, charging in for the ultimate group attack. But to their utter shock, the boss just slashes through them all like it's nothing, instantly sending them to the Shadow Realm. The Blood Moon Walker is the final boss of getting clapped. The remaining players, watching their friends get bodied, decide it's not worth the smoke. They'd rather just spectate and urge others to face the boss instead. They pull out every last bit of courage they have and attempt to nope out of there, knowing that dying here means losing their gear and XP. But the boss has other plans, ending their escape and raising his kill count to a perfect 444. Despite that many deaths, these are too few for him. The limited-time event, Blood Moon Walker, is still in full swing, while the digital elf fairy continues bringing in more and more warriors to die. Somewhere else, a boss is going off on his employee, Liu Li, dripping with disappointment. He admits Liu's got skills. Dude could have even scored equity this year and stepped up as a shareholder. But nah, Liu had to chase a missing person case that might tank the company's rep, so the boss hits him with a pink slip and asks if he's got any last words. Liu just shrugs and accepts it. At 26, his former trash game dev director and computer geek stays unbothered, heading for the door to wrap up his resignation paperwork. The boss sighs, realizing he has lost a truly talented individual. As Lu leaves the room, the boss orders his secretary Wang to find someone to replace him by adding another 20 million to the compensation package. However, the secretary barely listens, lost in her own thoughts. She had taken this job just to goon on Lu several times a day, but now that he's gone, she's seriously debating dipping too, cause honestly, the boss is mad annoying. Outside the building, Lu holds a photo of himself and his siblings, including his big brother, which makes him feel closer to finding a lead on his disappearance. With determination to find him, Lu starts walking home. However, as he reaches the city, he completely forgets where he lives. Basically, our boy Lu is a workaholic who goes home once every 2 years and has a terrible sense of direction. However, somehow he manages to recall the way, but then walks into a full-blown relationship meltdown at his house. His little brother, Fei, has been caught red-handed cheating on his girl, Azzy, with 68 other people. 68. That's not a mistake. That's a whole-ass collection. Fei tries to calm her down, but Azzy isn't having it. She's screaming, crying, and literally shaking, telling him it's over as she walks away. Lu just stands there in the middle of this domestic battlefield, completely bewildered. Meanwhile, Fei, seeing his girl storm off, drops to his knees, throwing out every emotional appeal he can think of. It's a real-life soap opera, and it's not working. Lu stares at his brother, who's still on his knees, and is just speechless. He's totally confused by this strange behavior, but still awkwardly asks if Fei needs some space. As if a switch has been flipped, Fei's mood does a 180. He pops up with a big, goofy grin, greeting Lu like nothing happened. Lu is relieved to see his brother seemingly okay, but then he notices the chaos. Women's underwear is scattered everywhere. The house looks like a bomb went off. He nudges Fei to clean up and get his life in order. Fei just laughs, brushes it off like it's no big deal, and asks Lu to stay for a few days. Lu explains that he actually plans to stay longer now. Fei starts yapping about getting barbecue, but with a serious tone. Lu reveals that he's uncovered key clues about their older brother's situation. That news perks Fei up, and he tells Lu the gadget he asked for his set. Fei reveals that Midnight kicks off the Fate Fantasy Moon server launch, and they suspect their older brother's vanishing ties into that game somehow. After some time, both Lu and Fei prepare, wearing tech suits and getting ready to enter the game. The game asks for their identity confirmation, which they provide. As soon as they enter, an elf assistant appears, introducing herself as the game assistant. She allows them to call her CC and wishes them an enjoyable experience in this immersive virtual world. With the game now synced to their brains, their characters are successfully created, and Lu finds himself teleported to the center of Modlin's beginner village, where new players gather. Lu checks his stats, realizing that the game setting is pretty realistic. However, he suddenly sees his brother calling out to introduce his new friend, Amy, and asks Lu to team up with them. Lu immediately refuses, stating he has more important things to do and that Fei should level up quickly. With that, they go their separate ways. Heading in another direction, Lu calls upon CC and opens the special redemption code window. This window asks for a code, and he enters a unique code that he personally embedded into the game, one that only he knows. Upon activation, the system sends him 3 unread emails. He watches in utter confusion as the strange emails flood in. Lu, however, casually reveals that they are cheats once he had crafted himself. Shocked, CC warns him that cheating is strictly forbidden and urges him to stop immediately before his account is permanently banned. But Lu remains completely unfazed. He has already embedded these modifications deep within the game's code, making them undetectable by the system. Even if someone attempted to locate them manually, it would take at least 6 months. In other words, banning him isn't an option. With that, he successfully claims his first legendary item, the Omniscient Bracelet. The stats are absolutely cracked, but there's a catch. You have to be at least level 10 to equip it. It's a real you gotta be this tall to ride this ride situation. On the bright side, every time the item levels up, it gains 2 levels, and its quality can be upgraded once. This triggers a hidden perk that lets the bracelet acquire a random, class-specific skill with each upgrade. Lu, being the low-key king he is, instructs his AI to keep the bracelet hidden. It's too flashy, and he's not about that main character's life just yet. In the next mail, he finds an item called the Random Achievement Codex. This thing is wild. It basically gives him a random achievement quest every 10 levels based on his character's journey, with some sweet rewards for completing them. But there's more to it. It has a secret hidden perk that even Lu doesn't know about. He just told the AI to cook up something powerful and trusted it with the details. The third mail holds the real prize, Chen's invitation from Azura. This is the one. Lu spent 2 years at the game company to get this, and it's the most important item he has. His older brother found the secret storyline tied to this item during the beta test, and Lu thinks it might be linked to his brother's mysterious disappearance. With a mix of excitement and anticipation, he opens the scroll. A pop-up appears, granting him a once-in-a-lifetime chance to change his class to Azura, unlocking a completely new storyline. The moment he confirms, a searing pain rips through his chest. His vision blurs as he struggles to comprehend what's happening. When he finally opens his eyes, he finds himself in a nightmarish landscape drenched in blood, a glowing crimson circle beneath him. Surrounding him are 4 cloaked skeletal figures, chanting in an eerie, unfamiliar language. Before he can react, they simultaneously stab him. Panic floods his mind as this wasn't something he had programmed. The pain is far too real for a game. Darkness engulfs his vision as system errors flash all around him. Assuming the game has crashed, he tries to force an exit, but his commands fail. The system doesn't recognize his data source. Desperation sets in as he repeatedly attempts to log out, only to be met with the same response. Then, suddenly, he rises from the ground. But something is wrong. His body feels different, alien. As his senses return, he looks down and freezes. He's no longer himself. Instead of becoming an Azure, he is transformed into a level 1 broken body warrior. As he struggles to comprehend his situation, a weak-looking creature wielding a glowing staff appears, addressing him as its servant. A grin spreads across the monster's face, seemingly pleased that its summoning ritual has succeeded. Lu quickly realizes that the creature is an epic-ranked boss, Ryan, the undead summoner. However, to him, it is just another NPC. He attempts to communicate, asking about his location. Ryan stares at him in surprise, unprepared for a summoned skeleton to speak. This unusual occurrence suggests that Lu is not an ordinary summon, but a rare skeletal guard. However, Ryan remains silent, leading Lu to assume it is of no use to him. He turns away, intending to find someone else who can provide answers. His disregard infuriates the monster, who had expected its summoned servant to kneel in obedience. Unable to tolerate such disrespect, the monster decides that Lu must be disciplined. Without warning, Ryan uses a dark chanting spell to shackle Lu in place. Lu struggles to understand what is happening. As he watches, Ryan prepares to blast him across the field, claiming it will make him obedient. Just as Ryan is about to attack, a massive entity crashes down onto him, shattering his form and breaking the chains that held Lu captive. As Lu regains his footing, his eyes widen in shock at the enormous beast in front of him. Staring at the colossal figure before him, he wonders if he has entered the wrong map, unsure of how he is supposed to play this. With no other choice, he attempts to call for C, and to his relief, she responds. He asks where he is, and she explains that he has landed in the realm of pure darkness, the birthplace of the highest level bosses in the game and the most dangerous zone imaginable. Now that things are making a little more sense, Lu asks her for advice on how to progress and whether there's any place where he can take on quests. C, asking for a moment, immediately scans for available information and finds a mission hub located a daunting 100 kilometers away. She urges him to follow her lead. Traveling towards C takes them along a cliff path with massive dragons looming over them. This terrifies Lu, but according to C, this is the shortest route. The journey soon takes them into dangerous waters, where a massive megalodon-like creature chases them. Paddling for his life, Lu asks C what to do, to which she encourages him to keep going. She also informs him about a message from his brother, who reveals that he has already reached level 5 and even acquired a green-grade staff drop. Fee then asks about Lu, assuming that he must be gaining a lot of items and XP. However, to his shock, Lu admits he's still stuck at level 1. As he is texting, another monstrous creature starts chasing them out of the water. At last, they spot their destination in the distance, a massive structure with entities forming long lines at its entrance. As they approach and notice the long queue, CC estimates it would take 2 hours to get through the main gate. But Lu, scanning the area, notices another entrance with no line at all. He quickly warns him that it's not part of the planned route, but Lu has no patience left for sticking to a rigid strategy. Conventional or not, he just wants to get inside, so he rushes towards it with what little energy he has left. Without hesitation, he approaches the entrance, where 2 towering boar guards block his way, demanding his reason for entry. He hastily explains that he has urgent business to attend to. To his surprise, one of the guards grins, seemingly understanding his urgency. Without any fuss, they grant him passage. Stunned by how easy that was, Lu even takes a moment to thank them for being reasonable. But the moment he disappears inside, The guards erupt into laughter, shaking their heads in disbelief. One of them comments that he has no idea what danger he has just walked into. Inside, a lab announcement declares that the period for the event at Fengen Tower has ended, followed by victorious shouts echoing from within the gate. Just when Lu thinks he's finally found an exit, a blinding light flashes at the end of the tunnel. He steps into it, ready for freedom, only to get hit with the booming voice of a host announcing him like he's on some reality show. Total confusion sets in as Lu realizes he's just been drafted as a contestant. The officials run his stats, and it turns out he's outed as a level 1 scrub. The crowd instantly loses it, laughing like they just watched a highlight reel of fails. Even the host clowns on him, calling him straight-up cannon fodder. However, the host quickly shifts the atmosphere, hyping up the audience by suggesting that maybe this fighter will surprise them. With the formalities settled, he officially declares the start of the Battle Fest, sending waves of excitement through the spectators. As always, the beloved duo of commentators, Quick-Tongue Rabbit and a turtle, take their places. Are these from the tortoise and the hare? Despite hearing them countless times, the rules of the Storm Cloud Arena are announced anyway. It's a classic 3-part lecture. First, it's a one-on-one, last man standing battle royale. Second, to keep things fair, everyone gets adjusted to the lowest level participant's level, with a minimum cap of level 10. Third, you have to completely eliminate your opponent to win, unless they tap out and surrender. No half measures here. As for the prize, the champion gets a cool 5,000 EXP and an epic grade weapon that scales to their level. The arena then enforces the level adjustment, making history by hosting its lowest level battle ever. Every participant, now stuck at level 10, is absolutely fuming. One guy was about to level up and now has to start from scratch. Another can't even use his best attack because of the level cap. They all turn their anger toward Lu, throwing threats and trash talk at him. It's at this moment that Lu realizes his huge mistake. Regret sets in as he thinks he should have listened to his AI and waited in line. But Lu gets a little lucky break. Since he's now level 10, even if it's temporary, the system lets him choose his starting class. A bunch of options pop up, almost overwhelming him. Then, he remembers playing with his brothers, who always told him his playstyle was perfect for an assassin. Trusting their judgment, he selects the assassin class, giving his stats a much-needed boost. Looks like things are turning around for our guy. The commentator moves on to the next phase, distributing their designated equipment. With that, Lu received a sharp dagger, making him realize this situation might not be as bad as it seemed. If things go south, he can always surrender and walk away without consequence. But before the battle can commence, the rabbit makes an important announcement that they have invited guest instructors, and any contestant who performs exceptionally well might earn the guidance of one of these renowned figures. The first among them, standing to the left, is none other than Blood Moon City's infamous Lord Zhuang Hui Shui. He is responsible for handling external warfare and strategic planning for the city. Under Lord Zhuang's command, the Northern Blood Moon Hall has produced 70% of the city's strongest young warriors, all trained under his guidance. Being noticed by Lord Zhuang is considered a great honor, offering a chance to rise to power and secure a prestigious future. The crowd erupts in excitement, chanting his name in hopes of drawing his attention. The rabbit then moves on to introduce another highly esteemed guest, Blood Moon City's renowned beauty, Lady Wu Yu. As the master of the Eastern Moon Hall, she oversees resource distribution. Beyond her looks, Lady Wu possesses immense and terrifying strength. However, she is known for being extremely selective with her disciple, and to this day, she has only taken on one student, Han, the unparalleled genius who shocked Blood Moon City by achieving 10 consecutive victories in the Wind Cloud Arena. The mention of her disciple sends a wave of murmurs through the crowd, though none dare to call out her name, knowing her reputation for being ruthless and short-tempered. Meanwhile, Lu is left stunned upon hearing the name Han. He realizes that if Lady Wu knows anything about his brother, she could be his best lead. His lingering gaze, however, does not go unnoticed. Lady Wu's sharp eyes lock onto him, and for a brief moment, she considers crushing him where he stands. But with Lord Zhuang beside her, she decides against acting impulsively. Instead, her focus shifts to a different target. Perhaps Zhuang himself should be eliminated first. With the intros wrapped, the rabbit throws everyone's focus back to the real deal, the matches. First up, Bloodclaw from the Bloodlion clan, rocking an epic-grade bloodline. These lions are basically the raid bosses of the battlefield, and Bloodclaw is their golden boy. With claws sharp enough to solo a dungeon, he lives up to the hype, one swing, and his opponents removed from the lobby. Next round, it's Bai, the zombie swordsman from the Great Sword Sect, one of the newest but sweetest factions in South Moon Hall. As vice captain, dude's built different. He's got that cold, touch grass, never vibe, and plenty of seasoned warriors have already rage quit to his blade. No surprise, he secures a clean debut, then rolls in Gear, the dual-wielding demon from the far wilds, repping Blood Moon City. Guy's flashy, dual blades moving like he's speedrunning combos. And yeah, another quick dub. Suddenly, an unexpected result shakes the arena. Lu emerges victorious. The crowd is left stunned. His victory was so fast that most spectators didn't even catch how he won. Eager to keep the momentum going, the Rabbit wastes no time in announcing the quarterfinals. The first match, Lu versus the dual-wielding demon. As they step into the arena, Gear eyes his opponent with disdain. He scoffs and tells Lu to surrender, claiming he has no interest in fighting weaklings. In his eyes, a mere skeleton is not even worth the effort, but Lu stands motionless. Meanwhile, on the other side of the battlefield, Faye has wiped out all the goblins using his fireball spell. The girls beside him shower him with praise, making him the center of attention. However, even with all the admiration, he remains convinced that if they were to meet his second brother, they would witness what true greatness looks like. He can't help but wonder what Lu is up to and whether everything is cool with him. At that very moment, Lu faces his opponent with a surprising level of chill. The bunny-themed opponent, Gear, is completely taken aback, thinking that cannon fodder has a backbone. Still, Gear is not impressed and plans to make Lu's life a living hell. He instantly unleashes his strike slash, closing the distance in a flash and swinging hard. To his shock, Lu just sidesteps it. Gear scoffs, writing it off as pure beginner's luck and tries again. Lu dodges again. Annoyed, Gear switches it up with his void-tearing slash, but Lu effortlessly evades that one too, leaving the entire arena in disbelief. Everyone starts wondering how he is doing that. Our boy Lu is operating on a whole other level. He's already analyzed his opponent's reach, taking into account the length of his weapon and the way he grips it. By calculating the maximum swing radius to be less than 2 meters, he figured out that staying just a little bit away would keep him safe. Since he's already created that distance, he's basically 3 steps ahead, predicting Gear's next move. He figures the most likely attack will be another flash strike, a linear charge that leaves the user vulnerable for a split second. If he can time it right, it's his chance to strike. Meanwhile, the crowd is now throwing shade at Gear, their murmurs and doubts fueling his rage. Humiliated by someone he thought was a free kill, he finally snaps. Determined to end this, he fully commits to the flash strike. But just as Lu predicted, the moment Gear executes the move, he is left wide open. Lu seizes the opportunity, striking with a perfectly timed critical hit that ends the match instantly. Gear barely has time to process what just happened as his dreams of becoming the Lord of Oblivion are completely obliterated. The crowd erupts in shock and excitement, having just witnessed the underdog reach the finals like that. Now, all eyes are on him for the upcoming final. Even Zhuang finds Lu intriguing. However, Wu remains unimpressed, assuming Lu is just a bit clever and nothing extraordinary. Yet, since he has at least kept her entertained, she decides to observe him a little longer. Zhuang agrees with her reasoning, believing that a weak bloodline will always be a limitation no matter what. The tournament moves forward to the next match, one that many believe to be the true championship battle. Bloodclaw faces off against the zombie swordsman. Bloodclaw, like many before him, warns Bai that he has no chance of winning. But Bai remains unfazed, standing firm in his belief that as long as he wields his sword, nothing can stop him. With unshaken resolve, he executes a powerful combination skill, Flowing Water Slash, a fusion of Water Slash and Flash Strike, making him 5 times faster than Gear's Flash Strike. As it nears its target, Bai stands confident, ready to show the price Bloodclaw has to pay for underestimating him. However, he quickly realizes that he is not the one in control. Bloodclaw looks at Bai's weapon and without hesitation, bites down on it. With the weapon rendered useless, it's now Bloodclaw's turn to strike. Using his explosive Fury Claw, he finishes the fight in one swift move. Even after his opponent is lifeless, Bloodclaw continues to insult him, showing no regard for the dead. The crowd erupts with excitement, chanting his name as if they have already found their champion. Zhuang shares the same thought, deeming Bloodclaw a worthy candidate to nurture despite his impure bloodline. Meanwhile, Lu senses something is off. He refuses to believe that the lion could actually bite through Bai's weapon. Given that all weapons are supplied by the arena, they should be indestructible under normal circumstances. This could only mean one thing, despite being reduced to level 10. Blood Claw base attributes far exceed the average limit. Before he can think on it further, Blood Claw issues a direct challenge to him. However, Lu stays cool, running the numbers in his head, wondering if his read on the fight is right. He knows he's no match for Blood Claw on paper, but winning this tourney is the only shot at getting close to Wu. The commentator keeps yelling at him to just forfeit, but quitting isn't even on the table. With only his big brother and Faye left in this world, fear is not enough to make him fold. No matter how stacked the odds, he's locked in, always moving forward. The match kicks off. Blood Claw's grinning ear to ear, eager to clown on Lu, treating him like some bottom-tier mob too dumb to realize he's bait. Standing tall, he roars that he'll make Lu his victory snack. But Lu doesn't flinch, not even a blink. He just locks eyes with him, calm and cold, like he's already looking at a corpse. Then, without hesitation, Lu leaps toward the lion. Blood Claw instantly notices how much slower he is compared to the swordsman from before. So slow, in fact, that he casually lifts one hand to stop him. But just as he is about to make contact, Lu vanishes. Blood Claw barely has time to react before Lu is suddenly behind him. Even though he dodged the first attack, he now realizes something crucial. Lu is an assassin and was merely pretending to be slow to catch him off guard. Blood Claw immediately counters with a long-range attack, only to watch in frustration as Lu dodges it again. The lion's smirk fades as he now understands that he is dealing with an opponent who won't let him land a single clean hit. Worse yet, he feels a sudden sting. Somehow, in the middle of all of this, he has been injured. Blood Claw's eyes widen in shock. He has no idea how Lu managed to land a hit, and the realization infuriates him. He walks toward Lu while trash-talking the crap out of him. He activates his ability, Blood War, boosting his power and critical strike chance by 20% for 15 seconds. Seeing Blood Claw unleash his skills, the crowd assumes the so-called cannon fodder actually matches his strength. Even Wu Bro's curious about what this low-level monster with a basic bloodline might do next. It's rare for her to find such entertainment in a fight like this. Blood Claw leaps at Lu, unleashing a barrage of blows. Lu blocks each hit, but he knows he can't hold out for long. Absorbing too much, he stumbles with his crumbling guard. Blood Claw seizes the moment, ready to crush Lu completely. He mocks him, telling him to stay down like the garbage he is. But just as Blood Claw closes in with his ultimate move, Lu reveals his trick. He's been pretending all along, waiting for Blood Claw to use his big move. That attack, though powerful, leaves Blood Claw unable to turn for half a second. Lu takes his shot, triggering his backstab skill to teleport behind Blood Claw and strike. The plan might work on others, but not Blood Claw. He counters with his Bloodline skill, Blood Rage Roar, freezing all enemies within 5 meters for 1.5 seconds. The crowd gasps, stunned. Zhuang decides right then to mentor Blood Claw, impressed by his talent. Wu, though, feels disappointed. She's finally interested in a fighter after so long, but Lu's lack of skill might doom him. Sure enough, Blood Claw slashes Lu's arm. As he steps back, Lu's brittle bones snap, revealing their weakness. His legs give out too. Everyone believes the fight is over. Now, they wait to see if the skeleton surrenders or clings to a hopeless end. Blood Claw, however, has no mercy in mind. He laughs at the skeleton's broken state, plotting ways to shame him further. However, Lu is also waiting for him to take the bait. Blood Claw keeps running his mouth, saying maybe he'll snap Lu's bones one by one or punt his skull around like a soccer ball. Lu stays ice cold, low-key grinning inside. His trap's almost ready, and he's counting every step Blood Claw takes. The lion steps forward, grinding his foot into Lu's severed leg to taunt him. Unknowingly, he walks right into the plan. Lu tosses his dagger ahead, a weak move that Blood Claw easily deflects, thinking it's an act of desperation. But Lu still controls his other hand. He hurls the blade again, pairing it with his backstab skill. In one swift motion, he teleports and lands a brutal hit on the mighty lion. The lion drops instantly, shocking the entire crowd, including Zhuang and Wu. As Rabbit struggles to get the words out, the other commentator steps in to break the silence. Tired of being interrupted all match, he seizes his moment. Calling himself the rampaging turtle, he takes it upon himself to explain everything. He tells the crowd that this has been part of Lu's clever scheme from the start. First, he shows off his speed, striking the strongest despite his own frailty. Then, he taunts Blood Claw, making him mad. When Blood Claw gets serious, Lu fakes weakness, tricking him into using his big attack. The best part about all this is everyone thinks Blood Claw cut off Lu's arm and leg, but it was Lu who did it himself. Just when all seems lost, he triggers his skeleton resurrection skill, allowing him to control a fallen bone for a short time. Setting up his stunning comeback, he takes down a stronger foe despite being outmatched. The rampaging turtle gives Lu the name Zhan Yu, Moon Slayer. However, although the lion is down bad, Lu tries to finish him off. Zhuang, however, dislikes this idea. He wants Blood Claw as his student and steps in. He pushes Lu back and unleashes a skill to wipe him out. Luckily, Wu also arrives, taking Lu's side. She jumps in to save him, blasting Zhuang with her heavenly piercing finger. Her raw power pierces a hole through Zhuang's shoulder, causing him to complain and demand answers. Wu ignores him, scooping up what remains of Lu, whom she has taken a liking to. She declares that he's hers now. Wu's done fixing Lu, bringing him back to his old self. He's amazed that his patched-up bones aren't just healed, they're stronger than ever. His thoughts are cut off when Wu powers up another strike, glaring at the rabbit and turtle duo. She warns them to announce the results fast, or she'll poke them both. Scared, they immediately announce the results, declaring Lu the new champion of the Storm Cloud Arena. The system tallies his winnings, giving him 5,000 XP. He jumps to level 15 and snags a new perk, Shadow Step, which boosts his speed by 20%. His stats shoot up, and then comes his next prize, an epic weapon perfect for his style, the Bloodstained Blade. It converts 10% of his damage into health, a rare vampiric perk that even the commentators are shook by. It's perfect for long fights, giving him a huge advantage for what's next. Wu doesn't waste a second. She tells her new sidekick they're kicking off the Storm Cloud catastrophe. Lu, new to this whole Storm Cloud setup, has no clue what that means. He asks, and the rabbit gets it, breaking it down. The Storm Cloud platform splits into two phases. The arena battle picks the champion, and the catastrophe drops that champion into the player world as a timed boss. For 1 hour, the boss, him, has to survive and hunt players for experience and points. Those points can be traded for powerful skills, weapons, or status boosts. As the rabbit is explaining, Zhuang starts screaming in rage, furious that Wu hit him. He reminds her that he is the North Hall Lord and demands to know she's trying to start a war. She stays quiet, so he threatens to report her to the City Lord. Still ignored, he switches to insults, calling her a greedy schemer out to steal his army supplies and rebel. They both start arguing like two Chihuahua dogs. Seeing this, Lu, along with the commentators, bolts from the scene. Before chaos erupts, Lu asks to be taken to the next event. Suddenly a portal opens, but Wu warns Lu not to flop. If he can't take out 1,000 players, he shouldn't bother coming back. He drops into the player world, and his random achievement manual kicks in. Since he's past level 10, it spits out a mission, kill 1,000 players, just as Wu said. Lucky for him, the system announces his arrival to everyone, urging them to hunt him. He lands near some newbie, fearless players, which are a bunch of easy targets. Before he swings, a cheat item detects his level up and auto-equips, boosting his stats. It upgrades every 10 levels, granting him a random assassin skill with a chance to swap it later. As the system picks his skill, 4 newbie players charge from all sides. He dodges every hit with ease. The system finally selects a skill for Lu, Hunting Scourge Blade. This lets him unleash 4 quick slashes on a target, starting at 110% damage and climbing to 150% by the last hit. If the skill kills someone, the slashes keep going, locking onto a random foe within 10 meters. It also packs a strong bonus. Each kill adds a 150% physical damage slash. Smart as he is, Lu knows how to maximize it. He carves through enemies, hitting hard and fast. He figures if he weakens a bunch of players first and then triggers the skill, his hunting power doubles. It's like he's unlocked an auto-kill mode. After slicing them up, he calls CC to ask if others can track him. She confirms, revealing that the system broadcasts his location in real time. That only fires him up with dark energy pulsing around him. As players swarm in, he unleashes his wild side, tearing through them like a train. After that, he perches on a tree branch, considering his next move. Fewer players are showing up now, and since he can't loot their gear, staying put seems pointless. Before he hops down, a greedy solo player struts in, excited. This guy plans to snatch all the drop weapons for himself. Lu isn't having it. He instantly slits the guy's throat in one swift motion. As the player digitally vanishes, Lu starts scanning for more targets. That's when the next wave of greedy players arrives. In an instant, Lu slashes through them all like flies. His kill count ticks up to 444, but it's still not enough. Rather than waiting, he decides to go hunting. But that last encounter sparks an idea. He sends his current location to his brother, hinting that he's got something good waiting. His brother assumes it's a gift or some kind of help for his journey and races over. But when he arrives, he freezes, stunned to see hundreds of player corpses scattered around. Meanwhile, in another part of the forest, lightning splits the sky as a lone player, Luna, takes down an epic boss single-handedly. Known as the Moonlight Knight, with the prestigious Dazzling Nova title, earned by ranking among the region's top 100, she radiates power as she claims her latest prize, Heart of Resilience, an epic bracelet that boosts her stats and has a 20% chance to activate during control attacks, increasing her resistance by 20 points. Perched on a tree branch, Lu watches in awe. It's the first time he's ever seen someone solo an epic boss. Curious, he asks CC to pull up details on the Moonlight Knight class. She finds the info in seconds. It's a rare swordsman class that balances strong stats with attacks blending both physical and magical damage. Easy to pick up, but with immense potential in the right hands. Meanwhile, Luna senses someone watching her. She scans her surroundings, but before she can pinpoint the source, a group of shady-looking players interrupts her thoughts. They try to swindle her out of her epic bracelet, but Luna isn't easily fooled. Rather than entertain their tricks, she offers a challenge. If they want it so badly, they'll have to fight for it. One of them, a cocky, smooth talker, tries to charm his way out of it, even flirting for her number. Luna shuts him down without hesitation, daring him and his crew to prove their strength. Thinking they have the upper hand, they leap at the chance, only to be cut down effortlessly by her Starlight Slash. As his allies crumble, the leader of the group realizes he's in way over his head. Desperate, he name-drops his guild, warning Luna that they'll hunt her down if she kills him. But Luna doesn't care. With a clean, precise slice, she leaves a scar across his face. With that settled, Luna calls out to the Watcher above. Without hesitation, Lu drops down. Up close, she's taken aback that he's a boss-level monster. Just as surprised that she spotted him, Lu hesitates. They both know that a fight between them would be brutal and, frankly, not worth it. Before they can decide their next move, a swarm of players emerges from the shadows, surrounding them. The crowd splits into two crews, one out for Luna's blood after she scarred their leader, the other targeting Lu as a raid boss. With no clear way out, Luna and Lu lock eyes. Then, without a word, they charge at each other, only to fake it at the last second. They veer off in opposite directions, slipping past the groups that weren't after them. The trick works. The mobs ignore them, allowing both to escape. But their pursuers quickly catch on and give chase. In the chaos, the two groups slam into each other, neither willing to give way. Showing turns to scrapping, and suddenly, it's a full-blown brawl. Exactly as planned. Luna and Lu double back, ambushing the tangled mess from all sides. With allies mixed in, players start swinging wildly, making everything worse. Friendly fire sparks a chain reaction, and soon, they're fighting each other instead of their real targets. The strongest among them hold on, convinced they've dealt with Luna and Lu, until Lu unleashes his hunting Scourge Blade. Like a relentless kill machine, he mows down anyone in his path. His player kill count hits 999. As the dust settles, Luna remains standing. Without hesitation, they lunge at each other, ready to end it once and for all. But just like that, the system chimes in, congratulating Lu on completing the random achievement task. Somewhere else, Luna sits in a wheelchair, gazing at the ocean. She belongs to the wealthy Bai family. Luna looks weak, the VR helmet resting in her hand. Her maid asks if she's hungry, but she denies it. After that, she goes to her room and writes down notes about the boss she just encountered in the game. The scene shifts to Lu stepping through the portal. As he does, his random achievement pings. He's hit 1,000 kills, earning a mythical item, Enchanted Divine Earrings. These allow him to switch races, gaining new appearances, a racial talent, and language skills. He's pleased that this prize is both versatile and powerful. The system chimes again, praising his Stormcloud Catastrophe run, awarding him 1,000 contribution points and enough experience to reach level 21. He also acquires a new skill, Rending Burst Blade, which boosts his next attack to 180% damage, ignores 20% of a foe's defense, and has a 20% chance to make them bleed. Emerging from the portal, he's greeted by a roaring crowd. Even the commentators hype up his 1,000 kill record, dubbing him the rising star of Stormcloud. However, Zhuang is not thrilled. Lu shrugs off the skeptics, focusing instead on Wu, who stands ahead. She seems impressed that he didn't let her down. Deeming him worth her time, she flicks her hand, opening a portal and telling him to follow. They step into a hidden place, Blood Moon City's evolutionary blood pool. Lu is amazed because nothing like this exists in the game he knows. As he puzzles over it, Wu cuts in, asking if he understands why Bloodclaw, despite being leveled down to match him, still crush others so easily. Lu nods confidently and reveals the answer: bloodlines. Just like gear varies in quality, a monster's strength depends on its lineage, and his is the weakest. Looking around, Lu asks if this place is meant to break through bloodline attributes, and Wu confirms it. According to her, it is one of the secret realms under her jurisdiction, and he can choose any area he likes to strengthen himself. With a smirk, she adds that his evolution depends on his luck. Meanwhile, in Blood Moon City's North Hall, Huang is furious at Wu for humiliating him. He also blames Lu for causing him to lose face. His assistant tries to calm him down, assuring him that defending the Lion Clan will enhance his reputation and prove his loyalty to them. Despite this, Zhuang's anger remains. The assistant then whispers a provocative idea into his ear, one that Zhuang immediately takes a liking to. Back in the secret realm, Lu absorbs the blood energy from his surroundings while Wu observes him. She can't hide her fascination that his absorption speed is remarkably fast, indicating his incredible potential. However, her thoughts are soon interrupted when someone calls her name. Turning around, she sees the Black Death Guards from the City Lord's mansion. They inform her that the City Lord has summoned her to the main city immediately. She refuses to comply so easily, as she is preoccupied at the moment. She asks them to wait until she is available, but since they are not her subordinates, they have no intention of following her wishes. The captain then presents the City Lord's blood-summoned decree, a direct order that requires immediate compliance. Failure to obey results in instant execution. Left with no choice, Wu agrees to go with them. Before departing, she leaves Lu with a cryptic warning about occasional rockfalls in the nearby mountains, advising him to stay alert to avoid being crushed. After she departs with the guards, the captain smirks, satisfied that everything is proceeding as planned. Moments later, Lu's evolution nears completion as the blood energy surrounding him increases, gradually enveloping his entire body. Before long, Lu is nowhere to be seen, completely submerged in the blood. This is exactly the moment his enemies have been waiting for, when he is unable to halt his evolution and is left defenseless. Without hesitation, the commander of the Shadow Squad signals his subordinates to attack. They waste no time in following his command. However, what they fail to realize is that Lu's absorption process is much faster than they anticipated. He awakens just in time, unleashing a devastating force that sends his attackers flying. Meanwhile, Wu and the guards continue their trek up the mountain. The captain grins, satisfied that even a powerful entity like Wu is forced to comply after receiving the blood-summoning order. But his confidence is short-lived when, to his surprise, Wu suddenly stops following them and casually takes a seat on a rock. When he demands an explanation, she simply ignores him, content to enjoy the view of the blood pool below, where several overconfident assassins are now racing to take Lu down for the credit. The fastest assassin reaches Lu's resting spot first, slicing through the blood sphere in an attempt to finish him off. The formation shatters, and they stand ready to confirm their kill. Yet, to their shock, Lu is still in one piece. Confusion spreads among the assassins, especially the one who landed the attack, as he is certain his blade made contact. Determined to finish the job, they rush in for another strike, only to be stopped in their tracks. As they get a clearer look at their target, pure disbelief fills their eyes. Lu has completed his evolution, emerging with an aura so overwhelming that they freeze. But before they can even process the situation, Lu moves. In an instant, he decapitates both attackers. The commander, stunned by what he just witnessed, quickly regains focus. He knows that there's no time to waste. They must complete their mission. Without hesitation, he orders a coordinated assault. The squad launches their attack with precision, working together flawlessly. Yet, Lu effortlessly takes a single step back, dodging them with ease. He knows they are far too slow for him now. Before they can even comprehend what just happened, Lu is clutching their hearts in his hand, killing them all. But the commander refuses to let that insult slide. He launches a full-force assault on Lu, each strike carrying an intense aura that amplifies his strength several times over. However, Lu remains completely unfazed, dodging effortlessly, as if this fight is nothing to him. Seeing the commander charge again, a sly, almost mocking grin spreads across his face. At that moment, the commander comes to a harsh realization. He is completely outmatched. Before he can even react, Lu strikes. In an instant, his left arm is torn clean off. Staggering back, he clutches the wound, barely able to process what just happened. All the intelligence he had on Lu was completely misleading. Despite that, he knows he has no other choice but to eliminate Lu. He was entrusted with this mission by Zhuang, and failure is not something he is willing to accept. Screaming with determination, he calls upon the hidden assassins still lying in wait. They immediately understand the urgency and begin the blood sacrifice ritual, taking their own lives to channel their energy into empowering their commander. The ritual's effects are immediate. His strength surges, and even his severed arm regenerates as if it had never been lost. Now, with newfound power coursing through him, he sets his sights on mangling Lu. Lu remains calm, viewing the commander as nothing more than an insignificant obstacle. To prove his dominance, he deliberately throws himself into the enemy's range. As he closes the distance, he suddenly reverts to his skeletal form, deceiving the commander into believing Lu's evolution is failing. Emboldened by this perceived weakness, the commander attacks with renewed confidence. However, Lu effortlessly evades each strike. Seizing the perfect opportunity, he shifts back into his demonic form mid-movement and, in a single decisive motion, decapitates the commander. A look of sheer disbelief is frozen on the commander's face as his headless body crumples to the ground. Meanwhile, Wu watches from the sidelines, applauding Lu's flawless execution. She is more than satisfied with the outcome. Lu, however, is more interested in uncovering the truth. He inquires whether these assassins were connected to Zhuang, to which Wu confirms, revealing that even the guards who had taken her were affiliated with the same faction. However, she had already dealt with them in her own way. This revelation makes Lu realize that Wu had known their motives from the very beginning. The realization leads him to suspect that this ordeal may have been orchestrated as a second test. But to Lu's embarrassment, Lei Wu seems more interested in his junior than his transformation. Noticing where her attention is fixated, Lu quickly shields himself from her stare. However, to his further embarrassment, Wu, clearly unbothered, commands him to remove his hands. Amused yet satisfied with his performance, she offers him a single wish, granting him the opportunity to request anything he desires. Yet, Lu is no simp. Instead of indulging in her teasing, he asks about the whereabouts of his brother, Han. Upon hearing the name, Wu sighs before delivering the devastating news. Han is already gone. Upon hearing this, Lu momentarily freezes, then presses Wu for more details. However, before answering, she reminds him that this is his second question, according to their earlier agreement. Yet, recognizing the depth of his pain, she chooses to oblige. First, however, she seeks to understand his desperation. She asks why he is so determined to uncover the fate of her former disciple. Without hesitation, Lu reveals the truth. Han is his elder brother. As he speaks, memories from his past resurface. He recalls the orphanage, a place whose name he can no longer remember. In that cruel world, bullies roamed freely, preying upon the weak. Lu and Fei had suffered at their hands multiple times. One day, as the bullies tormented them, threatening to tear apart Fei's beloved teddy bear, Han appeared from behind and smacked them left and right. The beating was enough to send them running. Curious, Lu asked Han who he was and why he had helped them. With a slick smile, Han introduced himself and offered some advice. No matter how difficult a situation gets, always smile. He then made a promise. He would protect them, no matter how bad things became. Back in the present, Wu watches the expression on Lu's face and recalls her own time with Han. She remembers how he used to ask for leftover items, things most would discard, just so he could give them to his brothers. Recalling this, she mentions a place called the Infernal Purgatory. However, Lu remains confused, unable to grasp what she means. Wu then recounts how everything changed after Han successfully defended his title as the Stormcloud King by defeating the King of Knights, Degyuden. This remarkable victory marked his 10th consecutive win, cementing his reputation as a legendary figure. As usual, he entered the Stormcloud Catastrophe event. But this time, something was different. He never returned. Even after 4 hours had passed, there was no sign of him. It was an anomaly, as participants were typically forced back once the event ended. Yet Han remained missing. Growing increasingly concerned, Wu exhausted every resource at her disposal, searching tirelessly for him. Despite her efforts, it took an extensive amount of time before she finally uncovered his last known location, a realm called the Infernal Purgatory. Now that she knows where Han is, Lu questions why she hasn't simply gone there to retrieve him. Wu explains that an unknown force blocks access to the realm, preventing her from teleporting in or intervening in any way. Faced with this challenge, Lu racks his brain for a solution, but none present themselves. Determined to move forward, he reaches out to C, requesting her assistance in locating relevant information about the infernal purgatory. However, the moment she attempts to access the data, she begins to malfunction. Moments later, a system notification appears, indicating an error. Realizing this route is a dead end, Lu has no choice but to investigate the database himself. CC informs him that he lacks the necessary privileges to proceed. Yet, Lu remains undeterred. Having played a crucial role in the game's creation, he possesses an in-depth understanding of its mechanics and is confident in his ability to bypass these restrictions. Switching to manual input mode, he begins working on a solution. Meanwhile, Wu stands idly by, bewildered, unable to comprehend what Lu is muttering as he dives deeper into the system. Determined to stay calm despite his growing urgency, Lu inputs the secret codes. As each clue aligns perfectly, he becomes more certain this place holds the answers he seeks. As he successfully bypasses the system, he finds himself surrounded by a sea of floating codes. Wasting no time, he opens a system tab to retrieve the code for Infernal Purgatory. However, as soon as he enters the term, system errors flood the interface, warning him that any further action would be classified as an illegal intrusion, resulting in forced ejection from the system. Refusing to back down, he commands the system to open the source code. But instead of gaining access, he watches in disbelief as the code begins to overwrite itself. The anomaly leaves him stunned, but before he can react, he is forcibly ejected and abruptly finds himself back with Wu. She does not acknowledge his sudden disappearance, instead continuing their conversation as if uninterrupted. She reiterates that she has shared all she knows and suggests that if he remains doubtful, he should uncover the truth for himself. Realizing he has no choice but to investigate firsthand, Lu prepares to journey there himself. Before departing, he requests another favor, but Wu reminds him that this would be his third request, meaning no more assistance for now. However, she unexpectedly changes her mind, allowing him to ask. Without hesitation, he inquires about directions to the other realm. Wu informs him that the only known method is through the storm cloud catastrophe, which he has already completed and is bound by a time restriction. She expresses concern, pointing out that even Han, after awakened twice in the evolution blood pool, was unable to return, and given Lu's current state, impatience could be dangerous. However, Lu barely registers her words as he is lost in thought, unwilling to remain idle when he is so close to finding his brother. Before he can devise a solution, CC intervenes, revealing that she knows a method to cross over. She instructs him to follow her, and without hesitation, he complies. Wu, however, remains unaware of C's presence and grows confused by Lu's actions. When she questions him, he explains that he has found a way to reach the player's world, what she refers to as the other side. This revelation intrigues her, as she wonders how he has come upon this knowledge, but sensing his urgency, she postpones her questions. Meanwhile, in the player's realm, a massive explosion erupts amid a dense forest, incinerating a swarm of moth-like creatures. The devastation is the work of the powerful firestorm mage Fei, who has now reached level 23. His mastery of flames not only secures his dominance on the battlefield, but also draws the admiration of several female players. Enthralled by his fiery prowess and charisma, they flock around him. Despite Fei's eyes on something else, he shifts the conversation by inquiring about the whereabouts of a high-paying equipment merchant that the girls have previously mentioned. The girls confirm the merchant's proximity, and he continues his journey with enthusiasm, looking forward to meeting the vendor they so highly recommended. In a show of generosity, he even promises to treat the girls to new equipment after completing his transactions. However, as Fei ventures deeper into the woods, he notices a group of players blocking his path. Suddenly, more players emerge from all directions, surrounding him. Their nefarious intentions become immediately apparent when they refer to him as their scapegoat. Realizing the impending danger, he quickly instructs the girls to stay behind him as he prepares his magic. To his dismay, the very individuals he was trying to protect reveal their true colors, betraying him by attacking him from behind. Confusion fills Fei's mind as he struggles to comprehend why they would betray him after his kindness. However, his questions are soon answered in the most unexpected way when he overhears the guild members referring to these supposed beauties as his brother. To his astonishment, the three alluring figures from the North Guild are, in reality, men in real life. This revelation fuels Fei's fury, not due to the loss of wealth, but because of the betrayal of his trust and emotions. Determined to exact revenge, he prepares to retaliate. However, before he can strike, his enemies launch their assault. Faye proves faster than they anticipate, delivering a fiery punch that knocks two of them down instantly. More men charge at him from behind, but he counters with a powerful area of effect fire attack, taking down several at once. Despite his prowess, he is outnumbered, and the battle begins to take its toll. An arrow, fired from the shadows, nearly strikes him, but his extraordinary reflexes allow him to block it at the last moment. As the battle intensifies, a feline warrior closes in for the kill. Faye successfully deflects the attack using his abilities, but his mana reserves are dangerously low. The situation becomes dire, as he has already exhausted his potions during earlier level grinding and even gifted some to the deceptive players. Recognizing his dwindling strength, his enemies confidently assert their dominance, revealing their true objective: the valuable equipment he obtained from the limited-time boss. They warn him against resistance, informing him that their guild has surrounded the area. If he refuses to comply, they vow to camp his corpse until every last piece of his equipment drops. Frustrated and cornered, Faye lets out a deep sigh before unleashing a torrent of insults. Enraged by his mockery, the white-haired leader of the guild prepares to strike him down. Accepting his fate, Faye silently apologizes to his second brother for failing to protect the wealth entrusted to him. Just as the fatal blow is about to land, a shadow materializes behind the white-haired leader, delivering a lethal strike that kills him instantly. The mysterious figure is none other than Lu. Seeing Lu, Faye freezes for a sec, then instantly lights up. Yep, it's really his brother, rocking his human race transformation and already level 23. When Lu asks what's going on, Faye jumps straight into his usual fake cry routine, clinging to him and whining that it was the ladies who tried to rob him. Those so-called ladies, actually femboys, look worried at first when they spot Lu, but that flips fast into excitement as their eyes start scanning him like he's a walking loot chest. Just as they're about to rush in, though, it hits them. Yeah, their whole squad's already been deleted. Before they can even react, Faye flashes behind them and with a mocking tone questions whether they were really threatening him just moments ago. One of them denies it, but it's already too late. Without hesitation, Lu and Faye swiftly defeat them and walk away as if nothing happened. As they continue, Lu shares information about the Infernal Purgatory, a mysterious place he recently learned about, which may hold clues about their missing brother. However, Faye dismisses it, claiming that no such location exists. Lu, though skeptical, knows that even if it is real, their current strength is nowhere near enough to reach it. For now, they decide to head to the nearest town. After a long walk, they arrive at the southern suburbs in a place known as Nakende Town. As they stroll through the streets, Lu gradually realizes that the town feels oddly familiar. Meanwhile, Faye is too busy shamelessly flirting with random NPCs to notice anything. At a nearby equipment recycling shop, two players eagerly hope to score a rare purple-grade item, knowing that lesser gear hardly sells for much. Lu steps forward and presents his premium-grade equipment. The shopkeeper, inspecting it carefully, declares its worth 95,000 gold. Faye nearly jumps in excitement, realizing that this amount is equivalent to tens of thousands in real-world cash. Just as the deal is about to be finalized, Lu casually praises the shopkeeper's hair, an obscure in-game Easter egg. To Faye's shock, the shopkeeper beams with pride and without hesitation increases the trade price by an extra 10%. Faye is confused, to which Lu explains that he designed the Easter egg himself. This amazes Faye so much that if he were a girl, he would definitely clap Lu for real. After receiving 100,000 gold, they earn a tons of wealth achievement. As Faye walks through the town, he becomes the center of attention because of it. After that, they head to the auction hall to sell the remaining items. A long line stretches outside the hall, where two twin guards block the entrance, demanding a 10,000 gold fee just to enter. A young player at the front of the line pleads with the guards, explaining that he's just a little short, but they refuse him, causing the onlookers to mock him for wasting their time. However, to the boys' shock, Lu and Faye take him with them. Seeing Faye's tons of wealth title, the guards immediately open the gate and respectfully guide them inside. Inside, a grand hall is filled with other wealthy players. The young boy thanks them both and promises to repay their kindness someday before leaving. After a while, a lady arrives and hands Faye a VIP black gold card, claiming that she will guide him through the process. She explains the card's features. Faye can enter without queuing, the auction house will take only a 5% commission, and he can easily get a loan using the card. Out of habit, Faye starts flirting with the assistant, making Lu sigh in embarrassment. However, Lu's attention shifts when he notices a woman swiftly passing by him. The assistant lady guides them to their private room, where they sit at a tea table as she explains the details of the auction. According to her, epic equipment is in high demand, and the lightsaber stardust they acquired will be submitted to the ultimate auction to secure a high price. She suggests that they participate in the auction, as they might find something useful. However, Faye ignores everything she says and flirts non-stop, prompting Lu to smack him on the head before handing a list of desired items to the assistant. After a while, the ultimate auction begins. The auctioneer hypes up the audience, revealing that they have some truly exceptional items for the day. The first treasure up for bidding is the Roaring Heart of Flame, a powerful artifact effective for fire attributes and highly effective against woody monsters. The bidding starts at 25,000 gold and quickly escalates to 50,000 gold, raised by guest number 9. This shocks the auction attendees, as the item had previously sold for a maximum of 28,000. Guest number 9, an elf named Xiao, is accompanied by a woman who is clearly a gold digger. He ultimately wins the Roaring Heart of Flame, upsetting 2 players who had come specifically for it. As one of them asks about Xiao, the other explains that he's a crypto magnate, advising against causing trouble and suggesting they wait for another opportunity. Meanwhile, Faye also thinks that 50,000 gold for that item is way too much. The host rolls out the next item, a custom piece called Loving Maid, a gear set that literally turns the wearer into a maid. Bidding heats up fast, and one guest snags it with a winning offer of 66,000. But then, to everyone's shock, dude slips it on right there and then instantly serving full drag queen realness in front of the whole crowd. The next item is an epic tier piece of equipment, the Lone Wolf's Battle Boots, which have a 2% chance of triggering axle mode while moving. As the host reveals the starting price of 40,000, Xiao instantly raises it to 80,000, enraging the other bidders. After that, Xiao continues outbidding most of the following items, forcing other players to leave the hall in frustration since they can't win a single bid. Faye is pissed too, but Lu remains calm, claiming that they will need Xiao's help for their own item, which is coming up next. Finally, the host presents the last item, Stardust, the one Faye and Lu submitted. According to the host, this rare item possesses light attribute attacks that become effective after reaching level 30. As the starting price is revealed, Xiao immediately places a bold bid of 250,000, confident that no one will outbid him. However, to his shock, Faye, sitting in the back, raises the bid. This surprises Xiao, leading to an intense bidding war between them. As Faye reaches 500,000, Xiao hesitates, considering whether to let it go. But his pride and addiction to the thrill of winning push him to raise the bid to 600,000. Faye, feeling a bit nervous, prepares to outbid again, but Lu stops him, forcing the host to start counting down on Xiao's bid. After the auction, they start heading toward Bush Cove Village. As usual, Faye's yapping away, filling the air with his chatter, when Lu suddenly senses something off. Someone is following them. His sharp instincts kick in, and he calls out to the stalker. A figure steps forward from the shadows. It's the girl who placed a $1 million bid on the lightsaber. Faye immediately assumes she's here to rob them, but she quickly clarifies her intentions. She simply wants to know how they got the weapon, as she was the one who originally dropped it while battling a powerful boss. The girl is Luna, who previously fought Lu in his monster form. Faye, thinking on his feet, claims that it was his brother who obtained the weapon by defeating the limited-time boss. This revelation instantly excites Luna, and she eagerly requests a sparring match. However, Lu dismisses the idea and turns away, uninterested. But Luna is determined. She wants to test his strength firsthand. As they near Bush Cove Village, Faye curiously presses Lu for details about their upcoming quest. Lu explains that it isn't particularly difficult. The village is surrounded by monsters from all sides, drawn by a young girl who possesses holy light within her body. Their mission is straightforward: eliminate the surrounding monsters and escort the girls safely to the Temple of Holy Light. Soon after, they arrive at the village. Without wasting a second, Faye charges in, ready to clear a path ahead. Faye, however, mistakes 2 Beast Girl villagers for monsters and charges toward them, only to halt mid-strike when he realizes his mistake. The Beast Girls light up with excitement at the sight of an adventurer. Wasting no time, they eagerly take him by the arm and guide him through the town. As they walk, the entire village buzzes with excitement. People gather to catch a glimpse of the newcomers with their eyes filled with admiration and curiosity. Even the village chief makes a dramatic Superman entrance, greeted by applause and cheers. Faye, however, is a bit confused, as this doesn't match the grim, monster-ridden village Lu described earlier. Lu, watching the spectacle unfold, theorizes that while the village's appearance and setting may have changed, the core story and its characters likely remain the same. The chief enthusiastically invites them to join a grand banquet, an announcement that sends the villagers into an uproar of joy. It's clear that this village has an intense love for celebrations. As they are escorted toward the feast, Lu seizes the opportunity to ask about the purple medic flower, a rare bloom that grows in their village. At the mention of the flower, an elderly villager stiffens, and instead of answering, he insists they enjoy the banquet first, making Lu instantly suspicious. When the banquet begins, the beastmen waste no time digging in. They eat like wild pigs, I mean, they are pigs, so it seems only natural. Faye, seeing the food, gets excited, but Lu brushes him off, reminding him that they need to find the mission NPC first. As they look around, they eventually spot a little beast girl holding an apple. Lu places a hand on her shoulder and asks if she wants to go to the Temple of Holy Light with them. The girl, with tears of hope, turns to them and asks if they are there to save her. This successfully triggers Mission 2 in the game, and suddenly, all the pigs start snorting as if the evil within them is awakening. The pigs start transforming into monstrous forms and instantly attack them. Lu and Faye, unfazed, kill both of the charging beast pigs in a single blow. Seeing this, the other pigs go crazy and leap toward the duo, triggering a full-blown brawl. After a while, Lu and Faye manage to defeat all the pigs. However, to their shock, the pigs begin regenerating and revive themselves. Faye, a bit nervous, asks Lu what to do next. Lu is just as confused since this is completely different from the original plot of the game. As the monsters charge again, the duo fights back, knowing they will eventually be exhausted to death if they continue like this. Realizing their predicament, they decide to bolt and make a run for it. While running, they eventually hide inside a house, evading the monsters for the time being. However, just as Faye is about to speak, Luna suddenly appears out of nowhere and covers his mouth. She silences him, whispering that the monsters are still nearby and that they should talk upstairs. Once upstairs, Luna reveals that she arrived earlier than them to complete the same mission. However, she also sensed something strange about the village and decided to investigate at night. Lu agrees with her and turns to the Beast Girl, asking if she knows anything. But the girl is terrified. As Luna tries to calm her down, she suddenly removes her mask, revealing to everyone's shock that she's actually a human girl. According to her, Wojkoll village was originally a calm and peaceful place, though pig monsters often roamed outside the village. However, these monsters weren't too dangerous as long as people stayed clear of them. Over time, they even began learning human behavior, which further reduced the threat they posed. One day, a holy knight named Greg from the Temple of Light visited the village. Under his guidance, the villagers performed a sacred prayer, though something about it felt strange. During the ritual, the girl experienced pain and approached Greg about it. To her shock, he told her that she was the chosen one and that she could join the temple and become one of them. However, before she could share this news with everyone, the monster pigs suddenly attacked, capturing the entire village, including Greg, who was ruthlessly killed while trying to protect them. The girl, however, somehow managed to escape and hide. Mustering up courage, she clung to the belief that she was the chosen one. She crafted a pig mask and pretended to be one of them, waiting for the right moment to run away. Now she wants to visit the holy temple to inform them about the incident. However, Faye assures her that she can leave everything to him and his brother. They will handle it. Just as the girl excitedly thanks him, a monstrous, towering pig spots her through the window. With its massive hands, it grabs her and pulls her out. As the beast is about to devour the girl, the trio charges at it, unleashing their spells. However, with just a swing of its arm, the beast effortlessly stops their attack, mocking them for being so weak. The trio is sent flying onto the roof of a nearby house. As they regain their footing, they wonder if the beast has any weak points. Before they can come up with a plan, the beast strikes again, smashing the entire house and sending them flying along with the debris. Thinking quickly, Lu comes up with an idea and asks Faye to support him. Hearing this, Faye immediately charges at the beast with his fiery comet spell, hurling fireball after fireball to keep it distracted. Seizing the opportunity, Lu dashes toward the beast. The beast notices Lu and tries to punch him, but Lu swiftly evades the attack using backstab in combination with his hunting death blades. He counters with a deadly strike, slicing off the beast's hand. As the severed hand pieces fall, Lu catches sight of the girl trapped inside. However, before he can reach her, several small pig monsters suddenly materialize behind him and lunge at him. Just in time, Luna appears behind Lu and eliminates them all with her Starlit Waltz spell. She urges Lu to save the girl, but before they can move, the beast violently shakes its severed hand, causing both the girl and the hand to drop. At the same time, the monster lets out a deafening roar, summoning hundreds of beasts from within itself. Lu quickly realizes that the beast pig is actually a fusion of the smaller ones. However, Lumina, noticing the high difficulty of the quest, suspects that defeating the beast might not be their main objective. While still airborne, they come to a realization that their true mission is to bring the girl to her destination. With that in mind, they call out to Faye, asking him to cover them. Meanwhile, Faye, who is still recovering his mana, instantly springs into action. With a burst of explosions, he blasts away all the pigs attempting to chase after Lu and Luna. On the other hand, the duo is in hot pursuit of a pig that has grabbed the little girl and is making a run for it. The pig is incredibly fast, quickly putting distance between them. As they give chase, they suddenly come across a group of zombie-like villagers trapped behind bars. Without hesitation, Lu frees them, but instead of gratitude, they simply snort in confusion. Seeing this, Luna becomes enraged, blaming Genesis for whatever happened to them. However, Lu is confused about what she means by that. Before he can ask, their conversation is abruptly interrupted by Faye's desperate screams for help. He is frantically running toward them, pursued by a massive horde of pigs trying to take his life. Meanwhile, the pig carrying the girl is still sprinting at full speed, trying to escape. After gaining some distance, the pig manages to climb onto a tower and begins terrorizing the girl. However, with the holy light within her, she swiftly summons a knife and stabs the pig in the eye. The pig lets out a deafening scream and lunges at her in rage, but just in time, Lu arrives and severs its arm with a single strike. Despite the excruciating pain, the pig is utterly confused. How is it possible that Lu is already there? 15 minutes earlier, as the trio was fleeing from the horde of pigs, Lu gave Faye and Luna a special pill that rendered them invisible, momentarily confusing their pursuers. It was a concealed pill, which causes monsters to lose track of their target for 5 seconds. While hiding, Faye couldn't help but complain about how difficult the mission was. However, according to Lu, their top priority was finding the girl. He knew they would have to think outside the box to locate her, so he quickly devised a plan and asked the others to cooperate. As the pigs continued searching the town, Lu stealthily appeared behind one of them, having transformed into a pig himself. Acting friendly, he casually asked about the little girl's whereabouts. Unaware of Lu's disguise, the pig revealed that the one who took her, Juan, was the fastest runner in their village and knew all the houses like the back of his hoof. Lu laughs and tells the pig to gather at the village entrance after capturing the humans. However, the pig corrects him, revealing that they are actually supposed to meet at the clock tower. Quickly realizing his mistake, Lu plays it off, claiming he must have had too much to drink. Suddenly, a massive explosion erupts nearby. Faye sprinting with what looks like the little girl in his arms, while an enraged horde of pigs chases after him. This was all part of their plan, a distraction to ensure Lu could reach the clock tower without resistance. Back at the tower, Lu wastes no time. He swiftly cuts through the pig guarding the girl and rescues her. Reuniting with his group, they all start making their escape, but the pig horde and the massive beasts are still hot on their heels. To gain an advantage, the group quickly drinks agility potions, boosting their speed by 30%. This allows them to evade the beasts' attacks and escape Butch Cole Village safely. However, as they put some distance between themselves and the village, they turn back, only to be shocked by what they see. The monstrous beast slams the ground, and in an instant, every pig, including itself, digitally vanishes. The pigs suddenly teleport beside them, forcing the group to sprint away in a panic, almost like a scene straight out of a Mario game. As they run in a bizarre 2D perspective, they spot an ostrich and quickly hop on, gaining some much-needed distance from their pursuers. After escaping far enough, they release the ostrich and continue on foot. Walking for a while, they come across a beautiful lake and decide to take a break. Since the pigs are still 30 minutes away, they figure a 15-minute rest will give them time to recover. Excited, Faye and the little girl eagerly splash around in the water, while Luna stays back, busy checking her stats. However, noticing Luna's worried expression, the little girl gently takes her hand and offers to make her happy through prayer. As the girl prays, Luna suddenly sees a bright light and a memory flashes before her eyes, her mother and father calling for her to hurry as they prepare to leave for an unknown destination. The vision stirs deep emotions, and before she realizes it, a tear rolls down her cheek. The little girl, seeing this, gets nervous and apologizes, explaining that she wished for a happy memory. Luna, smiling softly, reassures her that it was a happy memory. Faye, witnessing this, suddenly gets curious and asks to try as well. As he closes his eyes, a memory unfolds. He sees himself having lunch with his brothers, while Lu and Han argue over something trivial, just like they always do. The familiar warmth of the moment makes Faye teary-eyed, but when the little girl notices and asks about it, he quickly panics and dives into the lake. Then the little girl approaches Lu, who's sitting on a tree, and admires his fearless nature. She believes that he always has something on his mind and expresses her desire to help him. However, Lu dismisses her offer, insisting that he has nothing to recall. He believes that constantly looking back would only prevent him from moving forward. The girl then reveals that ever since she lost her parents, the villagers have taken care of her. She feels relieved to be by the side of someone as heroic as Lu. As she prays for the kind-hearted people who raised her, tears form in her eyes while she reflects on the villagers' fate. Lu attempts to comfort her, reassuring her that she has already done enough. Encouraged by his words, she wonders if she will ever become as strong as him. As Lu recalls the time when Han protected him from bullying, he becomes certain that she will. With their brief rest coming to an end, they prepare to continue their journey. However, as the little girl takes Lu's hand, the random achievement manual suddenly activates, announcing an increase in the mission's difficulty. Now Lu is tasked with defeating the king with the help of the Crunch after successfully delivering the NPC girl to them. Meanwhile, the beast in the village continues to roar, more powerful than ever. Despite gaining distance, the pigs continue chasing them. Even though they relentlessly cut them down, the pigs recover at an alarming rate. As they flee from the horde, only 50 kilometers remain until they reach the holy temple. Feeling exhausted, Faye takes out a potion and drinks it, but he fails to notice a pig catching up to him. As the pig swings its attack toward Faye, Lu leaps forward, slashing its head down but also taking the hit meant for Faye. Seizing the moment, Faye follows up with a fire blast, sending the pig flying. The group keeps running, but their concern for Lu's injury grows. However, Lu insists that stopping to recover would only get them surrounded. With no time to waste, they press forward and manage to gain some distance. As they approach the final 20 kilometers, they reach a towering wall with a narrow, eerie crack. Understanding that this is their only escape route, the group moves toward it. However, as Lu watches the approaching horde, he notices something strange. The number of pigs seems to have decreased. Entering the crack, Luna also realizes the same thing. Lu speculates that there might be an ambush ahead and urges them to move quickly. After running for a while, they finally spot the exit, but before they can reach it, the path suddenly darkens. Looking up, they see the terrifying beast pig blocking their way. Trapped from both sides, the trio immediately prepares their spells, shielding the little girl. As the pigs charge, they unleash relentless attacks. However, the girl, refusing to cower in fear this time, stands her ground, determined that the Holy Light will protect them. At the Temple of the Holy Light, the knights gather before the bishop, insisting that they must quickly find the host of the Holy Light to subdue the darkness. One knight informs the bishop that the pigs have gathered near the eastern valley, which enrages him. Without hesitation, he orders his knights to follow him. As they step outside, the bishop notices a girl wearing a pig mask. Mistaking her for a creature of darkness, he immediately prepares an attack to eliminate the monster. However, to his shock, the girl removes her mask and pleads for help. She explains that she came from Coal Village, which was attacked by pigs that slaughtered everyone. She begs the bishop to save the three adventurers who risked their lives to rescue her, but are now in grave danger. The bishop's expression changes the moment he realizes that the girl is the host of the Holy Light. Overcome with excitement, he lifts her in joy, believing they have finally found the chosen one. With great enthusiasm, he asks if she is ready to become part of the Holy Light and aid them in eradicating the darkness. However, the girl is left confused by his words, unsure of what he truly means. Back in the crack, back in the mountain opening, the trio fights tirelessly, battling wave after wave of pigs. Exhausted but determined, they push forward until a sudden realization strikes them: the girl is missing. Calling out for her, they receive no response. Panic sets in as Luna speculates that she may have gone to the Holy Church on her own. Before they can react, the entire pig horde suddenly screeches in unison, shouting "snacks," and begins running in the opposite direction. The unexpected shift in behavior confuses Lu. Even the massive beast pig, their relentless pursuer, turns and flees. Sensing something is terribly wrong, the trio follows the horde, racing toward the Temple of the Holy Light. But just as they reach its entrance, the ground trembles beneath their feet. Their eyes widen in horror as they take in the scene before them. The church bishop stands within the temple, clutching the half-eaten body of the little girl, blood dripping from his mouth. What the hell just happened? Just moments earlier, the bishop had questioned the little girl about joining the Holy Light. Confused by his words, she hesitated, but he insisted that the Holy Light needed her. Wanting to help others, she agreed. Without hesitation, the bishop opened his mouth and bit her in half, reveling in the divine radiance that engulfed him as he did. Before the shock can settle, the beast pig arrives, swinging with immense force. The impact sends the knights flying, but the bishop, now empowered by his newfound strength, stands firm. With precise counterattacks, he unleashes a barrage of holy light beams, piercing through the creature's flesh and riddling its massive body with holes. As the beast collapses, the bishop steps onto its fallen form, declaring that it is the light that has burned away its filthy existence. Lost in his sermon, he fails to notice the surge of power closing in from behind, until it is too late. He turns just in time to block the incoming strike, his eyes locking onto Lu. In a swift motion, Lu uses his momentum to slash the bishop's back. Staggering from the attack, the bishop quickly tries to reassure him, introducing himself as Hannibal, an ally to heroes like him. Hannibal wants Lu to join him in killing the pig together, as he has finally surpassed its recovery abilities. However, Lu ignores everything and demands answers. Just as Hannibal is about to respond, Lu suddenly charges at him with a burst slash, sending him flying. Lu has no interest in reasoning. His only goal is to see Hannibal dead. To Lu's shock, the system issues a warning instructing him not to kill Bishop, as he is the only one capable of defeating the Pig King and completing the mission. Meanwhile, Bishop, now consumed by rage, retaliates by striking Lu with his holy light sword, sending him crashing into the distance. Before Bishop can press further, Faye intervenes, launching a fiery explosion that engulfs him. The attack inflicts severe damage, but Bishop, despite his injuries, refuses to falter. He charges toward them with unwavering determination. At that moment, Lu and Luna combine their power beams, striking Bishop with immense force and leaving him lifeless on the ground. As Bishop falls, Lu turns his attention to the beast pig and notices tears welling up in its eyes. The creature mumbles a single word, "Snack." The pig reveals a memory from its past. As a piglet, it had once been saved by that little girl who introduced herself as Snack. She had treated its wounds and expressed her hope that one day it could become like a human. Before leaving, she had bandaged it up and promised to return the next day. The pig develops a fondness for the girl, but she never returns. However, he remembers her words about becoming more like a human. Determined to fulfill her wish, he begins observing the people in the village, learning to mimic their behavior in the hopes of meeting her again. Upon hearing the story, Faye and Luna question the beast about why he attacked Snack's village. In response, the pig lets out a furious cry, declaring that he did it to protect her. He reveals that he overheard a conversation between the Holy Knight and his men, who spoke of consuming Snack because she was the host of light. Fearing for her safety, he took action. Lu then inquires about the zombie villagers, prompting the beast to explain that they had been making too much noise. To silence them, he locked them inside the pigsty and ordered his lesser pigs to treat them as they would normally treat pigs. Concerned, Lu asks if the pig beast can recover now, but the creature insists that his healing should begin once the bishop is dead. However, confusion sets in as the pig's body continues to burn. Suddenly, the source of the flames reveals itself. The bishop is still alive, standing behind them and channeling the domain of the holy light. A barrier begins forming around the bishop as he channels his domain. Seeing this, Lu immediately charges at him, but before his strike can land, the barrier completes itself, pulling him into the domain. The system quickly notifies that this is the domain of the holy light, a realm that grants immense advantages to its creator, bestowing special abilities and buffs. As Lu is drawn inside, he finds himself standing in an enormous throne room. At its center, Bishop sits upon a grand throne, welcoming him into his world. A sight infuriates Lu, and he immediately lunges forward. However, before he can get close, Bishop summons a light strike from countless floating orbs above them. Despite his agility, Lu quickly realizes that the orbs are under Bishop's control, meaning the entire domain, a galaxy, exists under his command. Bishop confirms this, and before finishing, Lu demands to know why he attacked him. Fueled by rage, Lu shouts that Snack had come to Bishop for help, yet he betrayed her trust. With that, he launches another attack, but Bishop effortlessly blocks it. However, hearing Lu's words, Bishop suddenly pauses, realizing that they have both misunderstood each other. He then claims to have discovered the limitations of their world. According to Bishop, their world operates on a system of levels. After becoming a bishop, his duty was to assign missions to heroes in exchange for protection and respect. Over time, he grows curious about the outside world, especially after seeing a hero return stronger and admired. Deciding to venture out himself, he discovers a vast, exciting world filled with dark monsters. Despite constant battles, he struggles to level up, until he witnesses weak rats surviving by devouring their own. Realizing that strength comes from consuming others, he embraces this brutal method to evolve and grow stronger. Lu quickly understands that Bishop has reached the conclusion that killing and consuming others is the key to gaining strength. As for the girl, Bishop reveals that she was chosen by the light, making her the ultimate sacrifice. Devouring her would have granted him an unparalleled surge in power. This revelation enrages Lu even further, but Bishop remains indifferent, justifying his actions by claiming that he has saved many lives through this method. Without hesitation, he unleashes the Holy Light Fall spell, aiming to end Lu once and for all. However, Lu counters with a powerful burst blade attack, slicing through the cascading starlight, shattering them mid-air. Growing frustrated, Bishop summons his Holy Light Spear and hurls it toward Lu, catching him off guard. The spear pierces through him, multiplying as it strikes, forcing Lu to his knees. As Lu kneels before him, Bishop continues to ramble about achieving greatness by using people like him as mere stepping stones. Coughing, Lu weakly calls him a mad pig, a remark that instantly enrages Bishop. In a fit of fury, Bishop opens his mouth wide and charges straight at him. However, instead of fear, a sly smile forms on Lu's face. In an instant, he transforms into his skeleton form, triggering a boss warning. Mid-charge, Lu seizes Bishop's holy light-infused hand and with a single devastating swing, rips it clean off. This action causes the random achievement manual to glitch, updating the mission objective to kill Bishop. Enraged, Bishop retaliates, but Lu swiftly dodges and rises into the air. Summoning his most powerful weapon, Lu forms the Hunting Death Blade, unleashing a relentless assault that strikes all 999 light orbs, amplifying his attack combo. Suddenly, the attack redirects itself toward Bishop, slashing through him with merciless precision. A deafening explosion of light erupts, illuminating the battlefield. Outside the barrier, Faye becomes excited upon seeing Lu emerge completely unharmed. Luna, however, is in shock that he single-handedly defeated a boss in its own domain. Meanwhile, the Pig King's body has fully recovered. He cradles Snack's lifeless body in his arms with tears streaming down his face. Without a word, he carries her back to the village. Watching them leave, Lu turns to Faye and asks if he has completed his mission, leaving Faye confused. Suddenly, the system notification appears. Mission failed X3. Before they can react, the system begins resetting the random missions and reloading the character data. As the reload completes, Snack awakens in her bed. Disoriented, she quickly realizes that she is unharmed and overwhelmed with relief, thanks the holy light for reviving her. Determined, she jumps out of bed and storms out of her house as she needs to return to the piglets she left in the forest. As she walks through the town, the villagers greet her warmly, wishing her a good morning. Grandpa, however, stops her with a stern warning that there are human-eating monsters in the forest, so she needs to be careful. Hearing the warning, Snack becomes lost in thought and accidentally bumps into the village chief. Concerned, the chief asks if she is all right before introducing her to a holy knight, requesting that he take a look at her. As the holy knight extends his hand toward her, Snack's body tenses. Without hesitation, she suddenly turns and runs off, screaming that she doesn't want to be the host of the holy light. As she hurries away, she notices Lu walking past her. There's something strangely familiar about him. She swears he said something, but before she can figure it out, he disappears into the crowd. Back in the town, the village chief apologizes to the holy knight, who is lost in thought, realizing that the girl is pure and will make a great host for the bishop. The knight requests the chief to bring the girl to him later. Meanwhile, Lu, hooded and masked, walks beside the knight. In a swift, sneaky motion, Lu slashes the knight's throat so quietly that even the chief doesn't realize what happened. Later, in the forest, the piglet waits for Snack. This time, she arrives, and just like that, they are together again. A short distance away, the trio sits on a cliff, watching the heartfelt scene. As they prepare to head off for the next task, Lu bids farewell to Luna, and they both walk away while Faye tries to convince Lu to take her into their team. As she watches them walk away, Luna reflects on how the missions have become increasingly strange and inconsistent. NPCs and monsters are deviating from the plot, and she suspects that it's all connected to Genesis. If they work together, she believes they can uncover the truth. Hearing this, Lu agrees, and the three of them formally introduce themselves once more, this time as a team. A sudden update notification appears, informing all players about the server maintenance. With a mix of farewells and lingering emotions, the group parts ways. As Luna logs out, the digital world fades and she returns to reality, where her cat eagerly awaits her. She pats the cat gently, reminiscing about the friends she made in the game, but soon begins coughing due to her illness. The maid arrives, informing Luna that her father has called for her. Assisting her into the wheelchair, the maid guides her to his office before waiting outside. Luna hesitates before knocking on the door. As it swings open, she pushes her wheelchair forward into the vast office, where the walls are made of glass aquariums. The room is silent until her father acknowledges her presence. He inquires about her preliminary exam and warns her not to embarrass him in the final selection. After delivering his message, he dismisses her. Meanwhile, within the aquarium, a shark preys on a smaller fish, the silent hunting unfolding in the background. Elsewhere in the city, Lu and Faye head to a hot pot restaurant. Upon arrival, they are presented with a steaming, sizzling hot pot. Faye, overcome with excitement, dives headfirst into the meal, while Lu carefully follows every proper dining etiquette he knows. As they eat, Lu overhears the people at the table beside him discussing Moon Fantasy. They praise the game for its excessive levels, monsters, and complex mechanics. However, their curiosity grows as they debate whether the missions are entirely randomly generated or tailored to individual players. Hearing this, Lu begins to wonder about the nature of the game's missions. Initially, his task was to kill the Orc King, but the mission unexpectedly shifted when the Orc turned out to be a noble figure while the Bishop was revealed as the true villain. Later, Lu himself was transformed into a boss. The inconsistency troubles him, especially as he notices that the cheat book he generated from a random mission has begun to deviate from its intended functions. He questions whether this anomaly is a result of his extensive rewriting of the source code or if it is somehow connected to Genesis, the mysterious entity Luna had mentioned. Maybe it is all due to Purgatory, the phenomenon Wu mentioned, dragging Lu back into endless whirlpools and reefs. He feels as though he has lost all control over his own game, drifting further away from his original goal. As he remains deep in thought, the server arrives with the 5 bowls of egg-fried rice that Faye ordered. When Faye offers some to him, Lu's mind drifts back to a winter from their childhood. He recalls Faye crying after someone overturned their beds and urinated on them. Their older brother had been there as well, furious, convinced that the bully from earlier was behind it. Han had intended to ask the director for more bed sheets, but Lu informed him that he had already asked and was told they could not receive more than one. That night, in temperatures dropping to minus 18 degrees Celsius, they all huddled together under a single bedsheet, trying to stay warm. As the youngest, Faye had grown weary of their harsh life and questioned whether it would always be this difficult. In response, Lu and Han had offered quiet reassurances, trying to keep his hope alive. However, Faye simply expressed that all he wanted was to eat 3 bowls of egg-fried rice. Back in the present, Faye is finally fulfilling that dream, happily munching on his meal while Lu sits across from him, happy for his little brother. A short while later, within the game, a notification emerges announcing a large-scale event. Heart of Ironwall Kingdom Warriors about to commence in Ironwall Kingdom. The registration window is rapidly closing, with only 1 minute remaining. However, a heavily armored guard stands at the entrance, blocking enraged players from entering, declaring that the registrations are full and demanding they leave. Despite the chaos, Lu discreetly slips a sack of gold into the guard's hand. Without hesitation, the guard makes an exception, allowing Lu and his group to pass, further fueling the frustration of the other players. With only 9 seconds left before registration closes, Lu and his group manage to enter the kingdom. However, they have only reached its outskirts. They must still make their way to the central castle. Just as the countdown reaches 0, an immense wall suddenly descends from the sky, encircling the castle completely. The unexpected barrier traps Lu and his team inside, leaving them unsettled and uncertain about what has just transpired. As they attempt to process the situation, a glitched, digital screen flickers into existence. From it, Walter, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ironwall Kingdom, addresses them, introducing himself as the host of the event. According to Walter, the event was initiated to honor the birth of the Ironwall Kingdom's princess. Over time, the princess became known for a beauty so radiant that it could melt snow and ice. However, she has since been captured by a powerful dragon, and the mission is to rescue her. A total of 10,000 players are participating in the event, each receiving a single adventurer's badge. As Luna suspects, this is not just a simple quest, it is a competition. Over the course of 7 days, players must collect as many badges as possible, and only the top 100 will advance to the next stage. There are 3 ways to obtain additional badges. The first and simplest method is to search for them scattered throughout the area. The second is to defeat monsters, which may drop them upon being slain. The third and most ruthless method is to plunder badges from other players. Each player's badge count is visible above their head, making every encounter high stakes and intense. With the rules established, Walter officially announced the beginning of the event, launching the 7-day countdown. Lu's group, with only a single badge each, wastes no time and moves forward. However, they are quickly approached by another team proposing an alliance. The group's leader reveals his strategy to gather 100 players into a single force, ensuring their dominance and securing a spot in the next phase of the competition. However, Lu immediately rejects the offer and continues walking, unfazed by the proposal. This blatant dismissal enrages the opposing leader, who silently vows to eliminate Lu's group should they cross paths again. As they press forward, Faye questions Lu about his decision to turn down the alliance. Lu explains that gathering a group of inexperienced players would be meaningless. He has a strategic reason for his choice. After defeating the bishop, he obtained a rare item, the Godslayer's Guild badge. This badge grants a special effect. Anyone who teams up with Lu will be recognized as part of the Godslayer's Guild, and as the guild's size increases, all members receive attribute bonuses. Because of this, Lu intends to choose his allies carefully, ensuring they are worthy of the power the badge provides. Upon navigating the forest, Lu's group immediately begins hunting monsters, swiftly collecting badges scattered throughout the area. As their badge count grows, they remain on the lookout for more monsters. Soon, Faye spots one lurking ahead and, with growing confidence, steps forward, insisting that he handle the fight alone. As Faye prepares to unleash his fiery explosion, another player attacks at the same moment. Their combined strikes overwhelm the monster, causing it to fall and drop badges for both of them. Frustrated, Faye accuses the girl of stealing his kill. Equally enraged, the girl refuses to back down and immediately lunges at Faye, aiming to take his badges by force. Faye, reluctant to fight a girl, retreats while calling out to his brother for help. In an instant, Lu appears, pressing a knife to the girl's neck. However, she quickly calls for reinforcements. Her sister arrives in a flash, and she grabs both Faye and Luna mid-charge, effortlessly restraining them. Now they stand face to face. Lu holding the girl at knife point, while her sister holds Faye and Luna in a firm grip. The woman, let's call her Mommy, holds 50 badges, and Luna can clearly sense her strength as she tightens her grip. However, Luna is more concerned about Faye, who is struggling as Mommy chokes him. It should have been me. Determined to free him, Luna activates her Shining Star ability, momentarily disorienting Mommy. The tactic works, causing her to loosen her grip. Seizing the opportunity, Luna launches an attack, but Mommy reacts just in time, blocking it. Despite the clash, she's impressed by Luna's skills, while Luna, in turn, acknowledges her opponent's strength. Realizing she needs to force Mommy into a mistake, Luna casts Crescent Moon, sending a low slashing wave toward her. Mommy swiftly avoids it by jumping, but this creates the opening Luna was waiting for. She charges forward, aiming for a decisive strike. However, Mommy reacts just as quickly, blocking Luna's attack with ease, making it clear that a direct confrontation won't be enough to save Faye. Meanwhile, the girl Lu is holding starts taunting them, claiming that even with all three of them together, they still stand no chance against her sister. As Luna prepares to attack again, Mommy suddenly halts her, shifting her attention to Lu. She points at him, declaring that she wants to fight him instead. Without saying a word, Lu accepts the challenge. In response, Mommy secures Faye to the side, ensuring he cannot interfere, and readies herself for battle. As they step toward each other, they suddenly collide, exchanging powerful blows. Their attacks clash with precision, blocking and countering each strike, generating a tremendous surge of energy. Everyone watching quickly realizes that both Lu and Mommy are exceptionally skilled fighters, standing at the level of top-tier experts. Lu's movements remain calm and composed, each step calculated and efficient. In contrast, Mommy relies on raw power, delivering clean, sharp punches with expert precision. The entire forest lights up from the shockwaves of their battle, each impact shaking the surroundings. As the fight intensifies, Mommy grows increasingly impressed by Lu's strength. Amidst the battle, she unexpectedly offers to be his girlfriend, leaving Lu momentarily confused. Her sister, equally baffled, questions her reasoning. Mommy then reveals that her intuition has never failed her, and in her assessment, Lu is worth at least 80 points, someone she absolutely cannot afford to let go. Mommy dove into esports for 10 years, and although she smoked everyone in sight, nobody dared to frag her in the back room, and alas, her love life stayed as dry as a desert server. With her extensive experience in dating Sims, Mommy is certain that Lu is the perfect match for her. Declaring this, she slams the ground, unleashing a seismic wave attack while playfully asking if Lu would prefer to start with a romance straight out of a dating sim. Lu, however, declines without hesitation, swiftly stopping her attack. To her shock, before she can react, he has already reached the cage where Faye is trapped and effortlessly cuts it open. As Faye steps out, he teasingly suggests that Lu should consider Mommy's offer, pointing out that he has never had a girlfriend before. Hearing this, Mommy falls even deeper in love with him, her admiration growing by the second. However, her romantic thoughts are abruptly interrupted as an arrow pierces her arm. She barely has time to register the pain before realizing they are now completely surrounded. Hundreds of players, each adorned with a high number of badges, close in on them. The group leader orders his members to handle the others while claiming Mommy for himself, as she holds the highest number of badges. Lu's group and the Mommy duo feel a bit nervous but quickly become alert, preparing to fight. Just as the group leader commands his team to attack, an unexpected event shocks everyone. A powerful red beam strikes the ground, forming a barrier around them. Once again, the screen appears and Walter's assistant briefs all participants about an important rule update. The Iron Wall Kingdom will now randomly feature a Grab Blue, Avoid Red event. Areas marked in blue will contain blessings, items, and buffs, while areas marked in red will be filled with traps, punishments, and chaotic space-time distortions. After delivering this announcement, the assistant bids farewell and disappears. Panic spreads among the adventurer group as they realize they are currently standing in a red zone. Suddenly, a notification screen appears, confirming their worst fears. It is a chaotic space-time zone. According to the update, any adventurer who enters the area will be randomly teleported to a different location within the kingdom. As everyone begins teleporting, Lu instructs his group to continue gathering badges and head toward the central area to regroup if they find themselves nearby. Now only 8,000 players remain, but the truly terrifying part is that the group leader isn't teleported away. Instead, he is left alone with Mommy, forced to face her wrath. As she mercilessly takes down other players, the group leader pleads for mercy, even offering to pay her off. However, Mommy remains unfazed, channeling all her energy into her iron fists before slamming him into a tree and claiming his badges as well. Just then, she suddenly remembers that she never exchanged names with Lu, and her mind drifts off into a daydream, even imagining the names of their future children. Meanwhile, at another location, Faye and Mommy's younger sister, Chili, introduce themselves on seemingly friendly terms. However, without warning, Chili launches a blast at Faye, forcing him to dodge at the last second. Still holding a grudge over the badge's theft, Chili insists on fighting him. Faye, realizing the misunderstanding, tries to reason with her, but she remains unfazed. As she charges at him, channeling her fireballs, Faye quickly offers her a deal, an exchange of information about their siblings, considering that both Lou and Mommy seem to like each other. Stopping her mid-charge, Faye's words catch Chili off guard. This marks the beginning of their bonding as they sit by their own fire, laughing about various things and agreeing to help each other find their siblings. Meanwhile, at another location, Luna finds herself alone, growing increasingly worried. With both communication and the map disabled, she has no way of locating her group. She recalls her father's warnings about advancing to the final stage of the event. Though he has always been cold to her, Luna chooses to see the positive side of it, believing that in his own way he cares for her and hopes for her success. Despite having endured painful experiments in the past, she remains determined to do her best and take care of herself. As she reflects on her past, a massive monster with a badge number of 999 silently emerges from the shadows, preparing to strike. Elsewhere, Lou is engaged in an intense battle against another player, one who appears to be on par with him, matching his strength. 2 hours earlier, when Lou was teleported to a random location, he quickly analyzed his surroundings, studying the position of the beam and the nearby sounds. Realizing that he was alone, he concluded that his group would be safe and decided to focus on collecting badges. Using his stealth skill enhanced by his white stealth cap, he began his hunt. Not far from his location, a group of players was busy taking down monsters. Like a flash, Lou eliminated both the monsters and the players with a swift, silent slash, collecting their badges in an instant. My guy just unleashed chaos. He knew that while these initial targets wouldn't make a significant difference in his overall badge count, the more badges he gathered, the stronger the monsters would become. For now, this strategy was clear: hunt players in the weaker areas. Elsewhere, Xiao, the wealthy brat, was effortlessly taking down monsters with his legendary gear, while his devoted admirer watched him in awe, completely mesmerized by his every move. As they are busy talking, suddenly Lou sneaks up from behind, and just as he is about to attack Xiao, Xiao pushes his shield, his girlfriend, in front of him, resulting in Lou killing her. Xiao is enraged that someone has attacked him and prepares to fight. As Lou charges, Xiao swings his legendary sword, unleashing a powerful wave. But in the blink of an eye, Lou vanishes from sight. Looking around, Xiao realizes that Lou is above him. But it is too late. Lou slashes across his body in a swift motion, killing him instantly. Nearby, another adventurer witnesses Lou's movement and is deeply impressed. However, Lou does not even notice him at first. When he finally glances at the adventurer's badges, he is shocked to see that the man still has a ranking of 0. The player, believing that Lou has stolen his prey, challenges him instead, vowing to hunt him down. Without hesitation, they clash, generating massive shockwaves throughout the area. The player relentlessly attacks, unleashing blow after blow, yet Lou effortlessly blocks each one. The sheer skill and precision of Lou's defense leave the player in awe. Suddenly, Lou counters with lacerating burst, sending the player flying. The opponent lands back on the ground and immediately retaliates with Wolf Mist, unleashing a massive beam straight toward Lou. However, as the dust settles, Lou emerges unscathed. Both can feel each other's power, but Lou is particularly confused. Despite the player's immense strength, he still lacks a badge, meaning even defeating him would yield nothing. The player, grinning maniacally, introduces himself as Feng, and Lou responds in turn. Without hesitation, they charge at each other once more, fully prepared to bring the other down. They continue their relentless assaults on each other, but Lou blocks every strike. Seizing an opportunity, he suddenly dashes away, realizing that facing Feng is like confronting a wild wolf, unpredictable and relentless. He needs a moment to catch his breath. As Lou maneuvers his snake spirit beast behind Feng, his opponent successfully positions his wolf for an ambush as well. The two summoned beasts collide, triggering a massive blast wave that ripples through the forest. In the distance, a group of players notices the explosion. Their leader immediately signals for them to halt before ordering his fourth brother to check on a missing teammate who has taken too long to return. Following the command, the fourth brother vanishes digitally. Back in the fight, Lou begins to detect weaknesses in Feng's approach, realizing that he struggles with prolonged battles. Meanwhile, Feng grows more exhilarated, thrilled to be fighting an opponent of such strength. Once again, they charge at each other and their weapons clashing with force. However, as their blades meet, Lou suddenly senses that something about Feng is not right at all. Suddenly, a surge of power erupts from within Feng as he charges forward with overwhelming force, ramming Lou through a cluster of trees and crashing him into one. What baffles Lou is that despite repeatedly striking Feng down, his opponent only grows stronger. The reason soon becomes clear. Feng's passive skill, Bloodbath Serenade, grants him a 1% increase in attack power for every 1% of health he loses. With his strength steadily rising, Feng lunges at Lu once again. This time, Lu swiftly dodges, recognizing that Feng still has openings in his attacks. He realizes that Feng is deliberately triggering his own passive ability to grow stronger. Lu continues to evade, leading toward a group of monkey monsters blocking his path. Without hesitation, he unleashes his haunting Death Blade, slashing through them all and rapidly building up his combo. Watching this, Feng hesitates for the first time, growing wary of the deadly power behind Lu's attack. As Lu's combo builds up, Feng abruptly interrupts it, triggering a massive explosion that engulfs the area. Shocked, Lu realizes that Feng possesses the same ability as a limited-time boss he once encountered. Feng recalls his leader's warning about haunting Death Blade and the importance of disrupting its combo. Following that advice, he remains relentless, countering Lu's every move. Despite Lu attempting to unleash his trump card, Feng's passive skill continues amplifying his attack power with each passing moment. Determined, Lu begins channeling an immense surge of energy around him, a sheer force pushing Feng back. Rather than retreating, Feng only grows more exhilarated, claiming that Lu has reignited his thrill for battle. However, high up in a nearby tree, the archer sent by the group leader silently prepares his arrow, aiming to assist Feng in the fight. As Lu charges at Feng, that invisible arrow strikes him mid-motion sent by the archer. Despite receiving assistance, Feng is still shocked by the outcome. Seizing the opportunity, he unleashes Wolf Mist Basket, sending it hurtling toward the airborne Lu before striking him directly. The force of the attack sends Lu crashing into the water below. Both Feng and the archer stand in confusion, realizing that despite seemingly defeating Lu, their badges remain unchanged. The archer, narrowing his eyes, accuses Feng of deliberately letting Lu escape, claiming that he failed to use Wolf Exhaust to finish him off. With an irritating smirk, the archer remarks that if Feng didn't want the kill, he should have left it for their leader instead. Feng's expression darkens with rage, but before the situation escalates, the archer dismisses the tension and walks away, informing Feng that their leader is waiting. As Feng watches the water's surface ripple, he quietly hopes to encounter Lu again someday for a proper fight. Somewhere else, Fei and Chili are getting along well, chatting about how perfect Fei's brother Lu is. As they walk, a troll monster suddenly ambushes them. Fei instinctively steps forward, telling Chili to hide behind him, but she shoves him aside instead. Without hesitation, she unleashes Fire Dragon Tornado, engulfing the troll in flames and reducing it to nothing. After dealing with the monster, they continue their conversation about their siblings while casually encountering and defeating more trolls along the way. As they chat about Chili's career as an animator, they effortlessly obliterate the creatures without breaking a sweat. However, Fei unknowingly presses a nerve when he comments on how poorly animators are paid. At that moment, Chili's expression darkens. Without a word, she channels all of her frustration into the unfortunate troll in her grasp, incinerating it into ashes in an instant. As they continue forward, an awkward silence settles between them. Fei realizes he made a mistake by bringing up the issue of low pay, making the atmosphere tense. As they press on, they come across a mermaid monster emerging from the water, boasting 300 adventurer badges. The moment the creature spots them, she lets out a deafening siren scream, sending waves of agony through their bodies. Paralyzed by the sound, Chili collapses to the ground, unable to withstand the pain, followed closely by Fei. Seizing the opportunity, the mermaid monster casts Stitch, binding the two together, half and half. The two come to only to realize they've been stitched into one messed up nightmare of a body. Total Abomination vibes. Confused doesn't even cut it. The mermaid just floats there, smirking, roasting them by saying she's basically given them some fresh drip. But their panic spikes when they spot her channeling something sinister in the background. As the water clears, a massive tentacle horror surfaces, hungry and locked onto them. They try to back off, but the second they move, they trip over themselves and faceplant. Yup, they're stuck sharing a single body. Instead of focusing on survival, the two immediately begin arguing over where to move, and more awkwardly, where not to touch. Even the mermaid rolls her eyes at their bickering before using her magic to pull him closer. As they are dragged toward the monstrous creature, they have no choice but to set aside their differences. With no other option, they agree to split control, each taking command of half their shared body. Working together, they propel themselves into the air using fire magic. However, this only enrages the mermaid, who despises fire. In retaliation, she unleashes Cannon Splash, sending a powerful torrent of water hurtling toward them. They fumble their movements and take a direct hit. Struggling to maintain balance while controlling only half of their shared body, they stagger clumsily. Despite their lack of coordination, they manage to propel themselves off the ground, launching a barrage of fireballs from the air. The flames scorch both the mermaid and the monstrous creature, but the beast quickly extinguishes the fire using a surge of water. In retaliation, it unleashes a rotating water attack, trapping them inside a swirling aquatic prison. Even in their dire situation, they remain frustrated with each other, their lack of synchronization making escape nearly impossible. However, in the midst of their bickering, they suddenly realize something. Without hesitation, they clasp their hands together, channeling their magic into a single unified force. A massive fiery blast erupts in the air, emitting the surrounding water in an explosion of steam and heat. Breaking free from the watery trap, they finally decide to cooperate. As the mermaid, enraged by the flames, prepares to unleash her stitching spell once more, they move in perfect sync. This time, they effortlessly evade her attacks, weaving and dancing around her strikes with newfound agility. Embracing the moment, they call out to CC to drop the beat. Moving in perfect sync with the rhythm, they fuse their power into a massive torrent of fire. With one final clean combo strike, they launch the blazing attack straight at the mermaid, roasting her in flames and turning her to ashes on the spot. Meanwhile, somewhere else, the 999 badge monster has Luna in its grip, seething with rage over her wiping out its kids.
Guys, that's the end of the video. If you like this video, please leave a comment in the comment section. Also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Like the video and share it too. Thank you for watching and see you next time again.